Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers Pregame, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name's Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me tonight, it is the one and only Kelly Hinkle from Broad Street Hockey. So, Hinkle, it's the Isles.
Welcome to the worst version of Groundhog Day, where we have to watch a Flyers-Islanders game every single day until we die.
3 meetings in, I think, 15 days or whatever the hell it's been. It has been
It's too much.
It has been too much, absolutely. Last night we saw the third meeting in a couple of weeks between the Flyers and Devils, and despite the final score, I thought the first 40 minutes pretty entertaining. But a lot of that is like the Devils are actually good.
They're good.
You don't want to lose 5-0. That part sucked. But chances were Devils weren't going to lose to an inferior team 3 times in 2 weeks.
That's hard to do.
They had to come out and play with much more physical presence. They've basically been bullied by the Flyers in the first 7 periods of the 3 matchups. But now it's the Islanders again, and damn it, why are they doing this to us?
They're not good. The Islanders brought in Tony DeAngelo to improve the team.
Yeah, that's where they are with defensemen.
Not the Devils.
Tony D, who wasn't exactly the bad Tony D, not Anthony Richard. Not exactly tearing it up in the KHL was Tony DeAngelo, but now he's an Islander. But we have to get to the Flyers lineup because we have a couple of notes tonight. The first of which, Ivan Fedotov starts. I thought there was a little bit of a question. Could they go with Ersson after pulling him?
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe since they pulled him so early, they would go back to him.
But I do think it works in Fedotov's favor. Like, this isn't his first game in 10 days or however long it's been. He got a little action last night, stopped 9-10, so that was fine. Owen Tippett, who got blasted at center ice thanks to a Travis Sanheim buddy pass, remains out. Maybe it's just precautionary. They're calling it an upper body injury. I just didn't think, like, the impact was hard.
Yeah.
But you think about, like, the hit on Nathan Bastian, or the hit we saw Paling take from Siplikov a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Those are obvious, like, oh, yeah. Yeah, he got hit in the head. Like,
yeah.
That's not at all what I think happened to Owen Tippett. So maybe that's it, or maybe they're just
your bell gets rung.
Yeah, it can the whiplash effect and just the after effects. So we'll see. But Owen Tippett remains out tonight, so we have a little bit of a different lineup. But it starts actually on defense. Hinkle, Erik Johnson, the coach, told him. John Tortorella said today in his pregame availability that he told Johnson earlier this week. Back to back, I'm going to play in one of them. We're going to get a look at a kid.
A kid, you say?
Well, they called someone up from the Phantoms. It is not, however, Emil Andre. It's Adam Ginning.
Oh, of course.
Adam Ginning has made his way up, and Charlie tweeted this out.
Everyone's favorite 25-year-old prospect.
Yeah, that's the so Adam Ginning.
Small child. Adam
his 2024-25 started by having the worst camp out of basically anybody and losing a spot. Like John Tortorella said, we kind of had him penciled in as the 8. And he was so bad, it became Emil Andre's job. Like, Andre didn't play in his initial making the team, being the 8. They bring him out on the West Coast trip, I think, after the first game, but he doesn't play. Yeah. But he's clearly the first call-up, and then eventually he does get the call-up. He plays a bunch of games.
Looks great.
Looked pretty damn good to my eyes.
Gets sent back down, and we will never see him again.
And now reports are that, we've been hearing some good things about Adam Ginning, and he's up. And my initial thought was, like, not thinking about it. All right, maybe we're going to go with handedness here. Erik Johnson, righty. No, Adam Ginning's a lefty, so that part's out. I'm trying to come up with some explanations here. I don't like it. I want to see Emil Andre.
Oh, I hate it.
Me trying to identify the reasons why is not me looking, well, this is why, you bunch of dummies. Like, I'm just trying to explain it to myself more than anything. Do you have any thoughts, Hinkle? Because I have a couple.
My only thought is big boy smash. And we had the hit in the last, well, not the last Islanders game, but the last one. The guy that got suspended is back tonight. Maybe they think it's going to be one of those games, and so they want to have some size on the back end to smash some dudes. I don't really know what we have to learn about Adam Ginning. I feel like we know who he is. I think I read on the internet, which means it's true, that apparently LePerriere likes him, which, like, great news. That's a guy I trust to evaluate talent.
Cool.
So glad that LePerriere likes him. But I mean, like, whatever. You know, good for you, dude. Please don't suck. I don't know. I feel like he's just there to smash somebody if somebody needs to be smashed. I feel like is the only reason that he's there.
That's honestly as solid of an explanation as one could probably come up with. I'm just looking at like what went on for the Phantoms. They played last night.
Yeah.
The 29th against Bridgeport.
Was Ginning scratched? I think he was.
Ginning, I believe, played in this game. I have it right here.
So I think it was yesterday we started to hear the rumors kick around about a possible Ginning call-up.
Yeah, Ginning was scratched. You are correct. Okay, that makes this make much more sense to me. But last night, it is Emil Andre. He does play, picks up 2 assists, and is +3 in the game. I'm starting with, and Ginning is scratched, I'm starting with they didn't want to play anyone in a back-to-back situation, especially Emil Andre, after him having a couple of injuries this season, after him having protect yourself issues. Maybe you don't want him out there on weaker legs. Like you said, Siplikov is playing. It's the first time the Flyers have seen him since the hit on Paling.
Yeah.
Last night's game got pretty contentious, at least until it was like, well, screw this, it's over. It was a pretty physical game. Maybe the Flyers are going to carry some of that. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Back-to-back physical game. That's part of it. Andre did miss 4 games with injury earlier this month. Then immediately came back and got hit in the face with a puck. That you don't want him getting hurt. I get it. The second to last game he played in the NHL when he took that hit from Olivier against Columbus.
Yeah,
it was very much a situation of, dude, you got to protect yourself a little better. And we know how the Islanders play. It's not exactly the same team from a few years ago with that, their identity line on the 4th line and all that. But some of those guys are left, and it is still Lou Lamoriello's team. We know how they're going to play.
Right.
Maybe that's part of it. I'm thinking there's also a possibility that get a look at a kid is kind of just a way of saying, we're going to use a body here. We just need someone to play.
A warm body.
Yeah, he's 20. He turned 25 about 2 weeks ago, Adam Ginning. He is no longer a prospect. Maybe it's just with the deadline approaching, Adam Ginning is kind of now Ronnie Attard, where he serves no purpose for our future. He's been jumped on the depth chart by Emil Andre. We know how much they like Hunter McDonald. It's like, how many guys have to go before Adam Ginning is part of this thing?
Right.
All of them.
You're right.
They like Nick Seeler better than you.
Adam Ginning is like the 11.
Maybe with the deadline approaching, they're doing him a little bit of a favor, giving him a little bit of NHL tape, letting him get an NHL paycheck for a day or two. And then if somebody comes calling, you trade Adam Ginning for the team's Adam Ginning. And he gets a shot in another organization. Maybe that's it.
Maybe. Or maybe they just, I'm not going to say the one thing because I think it's probably more than one thing, but I feel like the biggest thing they don't like about Emil Andre is that he's a little dude. And this is the Flyers still. And Adam Ginning is very large.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't even know if it goes any further than that.
They have Jamie Drysdale, who they targeted and traded for. They have Cam York, who they like a lot. I bet you he gets a contract extension we don't like in a few months.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah, that'll come up soon.
Yeah.
That'll come up probably. I mean, that's probably
We'll
some
have a regular
post-trade
show
deadline
at some
stuff.
point.
Yeah, we have the whole summer.
Yeah,
You remember?
that
Remember
too.
how that goes? Yeah, the entire summer. But I just, on the face of it, if we're calling up the best guy, I don't see how it's Adam Schenning.
Oh, they're definitely not doing that. I mean, like, that's just like, you can't even talk yourself into that. That's just objectively not true. There's probably like, I regrettably do not pay very much attention to the Phantoms, but I'm assuming there's like a 32-year-old AHL lifer that's better than Adam Schenning on the Phantoms right now.
Even like a Louis Belpedio.
Yeah. Like, it's not the best guy. He might be the largest.
I think, honestly,
and
that
maybe
is the most likely sitcom. That is the most likely reason, his size.
And maybe they are trying to shop him a little bit.
Not just like
maybe we can get a fourth for him.
Shopping it, like do him a favor and give him a start in a different organization.
Yeah, like they did with Adder.
Like they did with Adder, like they did with Wade Allison.
Right.
Like, okay, these mid-aged guys who clearly aren't going to be part of the NHL thing. And what's the point of them taking up a roster spot in the AHL? Let's maybe get him some tape. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with reasons here. So this is also to change gears in an awkward fashion. This is also the Flyers' 10th back-to-back of the season.
So many of them.
And it's not gone well. They are 1-7-1 in back-to-backs so far this year.
That seems bad.
It's real bad. And I've been trying to come up with reasons why. And much like Charlie's article a few weeks ago, where he was just like, blame the goalies. Well,
Charlie's stealing my ideas.
You look at just the situation of a back-to-back where you have to use your backup. It's not like they're going to run Ersson out and, play him twice in a row. You have to use your backup. Mm-hmm. And we know that that's been a disaster for the Flyers this year. I looked at the numbers. So back-to-backs, the offense has averaged 2.67 goals a game in the back end of back-to-backs. Mm-hmm. Full season average, 2.9. So they're down a little, but it's nothing crazy here.
Yeah.
The back-to-back defense, they're giving up almost 4.5 goals a game in the back end of back-to-backs.
Oh.
It's 3 point, let's call it 3.4 in the season as a whole. They are getting lit up because of this. Like, I think there's definitely, back-to-backs are hard. The Flyers don't exactly have the most firepower. Like, what are the chances? Noah Cates has 2 goals one night, and then, oh, yes, he'll have 2 more tomorrow. Probably low. They're really just not that kind of team. But it seems kind of just as simple as goaltending.
I guess I could have looked this up, but do they typically go with the Ersson first, backup second?
Yeah. There have been times this year where I've been like...
That's the problem.
There have been times this year where I've thought maybe it makes more sense to go the other way.
Right, because you have the fresh team in front of the worst goaltender, and then you put Ersson in, who is technically your strongest goaltender. You put him out in front of the team that's got slow legs. Like, maybe that's a better way to do it. I don't know why they never try that, but... I don't know. Often it does seem like it's like better team, worse team too. You know what I mean? Like that does feel like normally the way it goes. And I can understand why you'd want Ersson out against the Devils more than you would against the Islanders. But yeah, it's just the goaltending. And
that said, like they've been in this situation now 2 weeks in a row where it's first night, I think the Devils or whoever, and second night Islanders. Now the Islanders not good. But they are a team that you are in direct competition with for the playoffs, and like perhaps winning that game a little more important. Elliot Friedman, I think, talked about this a couple of shows ago. It like came up for some reason. And the idea is, well, every team thinks their best chance to win the 2 games is the first one. Mm-hmm. So let's double down, have our starter in on that one, and make sure we get 2 points, basically. Now for the Flyers, doesn't always work that way.
Nope.
They're not very good. They don't win all the time. Yep. But like, I guess that's the thought process. But nights like tonight, I think you probably could have gone Fedotov first, Ersson second, because last night didn't matter nearly as much as tonight.
Yeah.
Like the Devils are in the playoffs.
Right.
We're not getting the second or third
No.
spot in the East or in the Metro. Like that isn't happening. Probably not getting the wild card, but at least it's realistic.
Yeah. I wonder why they don't. Do they think that far? I don't know. I don't know if Torts is just like married to like starter backup,
Win
starter
tonight,
backup, starter
yeah.
backup, or whatever. But I honestly, I kind of would have liked them to go back to Ersson, just because I don't think last night was really on him so much as it was the team in front of him. Like, obviously, 4 goals, not great in any capacity. But
I said about 1.5 I blamed on him.
yeah, like I feel like he played few enough minutes that they probably could have put him in again tonight. But then we'd be talking about, well, he's hurt all the time. Maybe we don't play him twice in 2 nights. So, like, I don't know. I can talk myself in or out of anything.
There's
really.
no right answer.
No.
It's just an interesting thought experiment, I think.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, sometimes Fetty's good.
He is, and we're going to talk about him in just a second. But first, we have the lines.
Oh.
Charlie just tweeted these out a few minutes ago. So we actually have a change, and we saw some shifts of this last game, and maybe prior to that, maybe Monday as
I
well.
like this.
Cates and Forster with Travis Konechny.
I like it.
Taking the place of Bobby Brink. Bobby Brink goes down to play with, oh, look at this, a brand new Frost line. It's Frost, Farabee, and Brink.
I like it.
Well, Brink and Farabee, we have seen have some good chemistry in the past. It's a couple of playmakers there to put out there with Farabee, maybe get him some scoring chances that he'll miss the net on or something. But it's an interesting change up here. And then Abels with Lawton and Hathaway and Coots, Richard, Michkov.
Okay. I can hear Charlie in my head right now.
They don't have a first line, so they don't have a fourth line.
But also, what are we doing with Matvei Michkov, fam?
All right.
I know. He could end up playing 18 minutes.
He could.
This doesn't mean anything.
And
but I'm
then,
looking at it on the screen, and it bothers me.
Looking at the defense, York and Sanheim back together.
Yeah.
They're going to put Ginning with Risto, and Sealer Drysdale stays together. All right, let's talk about this.
All right.
Michkov and Couturier, I have liked them together.
They do seem to do well together.
The coach doesn't seem to love to give them a ton of minutes.
Yep.
But when they're out there, I like them together. I thought Anthony Richard last night made one of the best plays a Flyer made on offense with his setup of Couturier in the first period. That it gets reviewed, but somehow Coots isn't able to score. Crazy. You give some speed, a little bit of finishing.
Sure.
Michkov and Richard played well together earlier this season. It's just they're going to end up playing 10 minutes and people are going to be pissed. That's what I see. I hope that's not the case. If it
happens, I'm 100% asking Charlie about it. He's going to murder me, but I am going to bring it up if it happens because I don't know, man. I can't. I understand, like, you know, the workload and tired legs and back-to-back and all of these things. But also, like, he's a child. He'll be just fine if you push him a little bit. Like, could we maybe give him an opportunity to start scoring goals again? Because that would be cool. And putting him on a line with, listen, Couturier is doing his best. And Richard, while fun, is an AHL bubble guy. Like, he's a quad A guy.
I guess
I would just like to see Matvei Michkov be put in the best possible position to score NHL hockey goals. And that lineup didn't look like it to me. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. So maybe.
It's not an exciting line. That is certainly not. Like, I would love to see him in TK's spot with Cates and Forster personally, see how that goes. But I do think there's some potential there. It's just going to come down to who, like, I guess with the other one, with Abels, like, how much are they going to play? Garnett Hathaway, even when he plays well, plays like 10 minutes a night. Maybe they roll 4 lines tonight because it's the back end of a back-to-back, and they don't have options really to lean on anybody, especially with Tippett out. Like,
and we know that the lines never stay like that. Literally never do the 4 lines that Charlie puts on Twitter stay the 4 lines for the duration of the game. And just because that one's on the 4th spot doesn't mean it's going to be the one with the fewest minutes. But, like, the expectation that I have looking at it is that it is because Couturier. But I guess we're going to find out.
I guess we'll see. All right, let's talk about Ivan Fedotov a little bit. He has been okay for the most part this season, outside of the first 3 starts. And the first 3 starts in October, absolute freaking disaster. Everyone Everyone knows. But since November 7th, where he got like his first of 2 or 3 resets this season, he's 4-3-3 with an 8.96. Now, historically,
8.96 is almost 9.
Historically, those numbers not very good. But we always have to remind you, his league average save percentage is like 900, 901. He is a viable backup option. He's not good, but he is fine-ish for the most part.
Yeah.
Since his month-long benching, he's 0-2-2 with an 8.88.
That's
not great, but he hasn't really played a ton. He did stop 9 of 10 last night. He played like 26 minutes in relief. Something that is kind of, I don't know if I want to say funny, because like I want this guy to be good.
Yeah.
But Aleksei Kolosov, first 2 starts in the AHL after his like re-demotion, I guess. 5 goals on 31 shots, 5 goals on 35 shots.
Not a lot of big game from a guy that's on
He had an
game.
8.48 save percentage in his first 2 AHL appearances since October. But last night, he did stop 26 of 28 in a win. The first time Kolosov has registered a 900 or more or better save percentage in 7 AHL games this year.
Baby.
So maybe it's the start of something for him. But
Maybe.
Ivan Fedotov, I'm hoping he can find a little something. More than any other reason, like I want to trade him at some point, maybe next year at the deadline, or like he's going to be like 29. I don't really see the point of him. Don't know if I really saw one ever, but he's here. He's getting his shot.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been terrible. And honestly, I want to beat the Islanders because I hate the Islanders. Like, if I have to watch this game, I want the Flyers to win it. I want to see him play pretty well tonight. But I just thought that Aleksei Kolosov check-in was a fun thing to do.
I would like to see Ivan Fedotov simply stay in his crease, be large, and don't like do weird things like throw your stick or like flop sideways for no reason. Like just chill. I don't know. I feel like he has the capability. Like we see it from time to time where he can be a normal goaltender. And then
he looked kind of normal last night.
He just like falls back into like crazy and then tries to play the puck and then everything goes haywire. So I don't know. I guess you never really know which version of him you're going to get until we're like halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's this guy. And hopefully it's a good one because much like you, I loathe the New York Islanders and I want them to lose all of their games, but these ones in particular.
I know you don't want him coming out of his net to play the puck.
No, don't do that.
But what if the Flyers are up 2-1, 2 minutes left in the third?
Okay.
And he has a chance for a goalie goal.
All right, then I'm into it. but
I want it so bad for him.
You're so big, you better not, like, you better rip that puck.
Yeah, that can't get intercepted.
No.
You need to put something on it.
I'll put a lot on it. Like a full clapper with your goalie stick. Like, you need to really
I just think
go for it if you're going to do it.
That could be, like, maybe that's, because I've been looking at Fedotov's NHL career, basically, really since he signed the contract and then couldn't come over the first time around, like a movie. Yeah. And I just keep looking, like, him getting here and getting into that, what was it, the Montreal game when he came in relief?
No
like,
pads.
If the movie had ended there, that's a freaking great movie. Like, that's just as good as Cool Runnings. That's just as good as Invincible. Oh, well, what isn't better than Miracle? A hockey movie without the F word. Get out of here. But like him scoring a goalie goal, that would be pretty sick.
His Antero Ninamaki moment.
Yeah. All right. It is now time for the bets. This pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, it's not the sexiest bet tonight, and I think that really just kind of speaks to the kind of game we're expecting here, Hinkle.
Yeah.
Nick Seeler over 2.5 block shots at -110.
This one feels like a lot. I'm putting $10,000 on this one.
Over the last couple of years, it's been like he and Cam York's block shots numbers have been like money every time. But Seeler hasn't been getting the minutes he did last season. It's let me see. What's his what's he been doing lately in terms of blocks? So 2 against New Jersey, 4 in the Jersey game before that, 1-0, 4, 5, 2. So he's right around the 2 number, or he goes way over. We'll see here with, I think maybe with Adam Ginning in, like he'll get used a little more sparingly, and that could bump the minutes up for Sealer a little bit because he's a lefty in the rotation there. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I just thinking about what the hell kind of game this is going to be. Well, it's against the Islanders. I'm going to take 3 anytime goals. Like this game's going to go 0-0 to a shootout. So I'm sorry, Hinkle. I'm sorry.
I already told Brenna that you were in the bathroom. If this game goes to overtime, I quit and you're on your own for postgame.
That's fair.
Call Steve. Get him in an Uber.
Call Steve. All right. Let's wrap up here. Talking a little about the Islanders and the wild card standings. They come in tonight. You take a look. Flyers by total points. They're a point up on the Islanders, but you look at those games played. The Isles have 3 in hand, and by points percentage, I don't, because it's the NHL. It's really like I don't know how Buffalo has all these games in hand on people. When didn't they start the season a week before everyone else? Wasn't it them and Jersey out in Czechia or wherever they were?
I don't get it.
It's insane. And the Devils, I think, have a normal. Yeah, the Devils have 53 games played, which is 1 more than the Flyers. And then there's Buffalo. The Islanders have 49. With 50. The Islanders have 49. It's insane. Anyway, you look by points percentage. Isles at 520. They're a little ahead of the Flyers, but this is that muddled middle we've been talking about. Boston and Tampa right now by total points in the wild card spots, with Ottawa holding down that 3rd seed in the Atlantic.
You'd love to see it.
But this is if the Flyers have designs on making the playoffs, they really have to start beating some Metro Division teams.
Well, that's the thing. If they do, they should, this game should be circled Cutter Gauthier style on your schedule, because this is the team you have to jump, the first of several, but this is the first one you got to jump if you're actually going to try to make the playoffs. And I'm interested to see how Torts approaches it, because I don't think that he's going to try not to win, but also sometimes he does stuff where you're you're not really trying to win right now, are you? Down 1 in the 3rd, you've benched half your forwards for some reason, and you're just playing the 4th line over and over again. He does stuff sometimes where you're all right, you gave up on this game.
He makes a
now
lot
you're
of
sending messages.
He makes a lot of interesting decisions. What are we trying to do to?
Yeah.
If we're thinking long term. Then a lot of the decisions before this one don't make sense.
Right.
It's if you're thinking about tonight, I don't know, play michkov more. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Now, as we mentioned, this is Siplikov's first game against the Flyers since the Paling hit. He was suspended 3 games, so he missed the previous rematch.
Yes.
Are we expecting some sort of retaliation tonight? Maybe it gets a little out of hand. That Devils game last night looked like it had a chance to boil over. Maybe 3rd meeting in 2 weeks. Same kind of first 40 minutes at least.
I think that we're going to see Risto or Sealer throw 1 big hit on this dude, and then it's just going to be a normal Flyers-Islanders game, which could be chippy.
It could be.
But I don't know that they're going to specifically go after this guy.
All right. Let's wrap up with some super chats. This first one from J.E. Frashoni. I was just waiting for you to jump in, honestly, Hinkle.
Frashoni?
You know I can't read names.
I know.
I am not advocating for a Dan line 2.0, but I am growing tired of watching other teams running at our guys with impunity. I'd like the team to add an enforcer. There's a need for deterrence.
That's a whole half an hour show.
There's no such thing as deterrence.
There's no such thing as deterrence.
Last year,
when Nick Delorier
got Trouba like this.
Yeah.
Basically being drugged down the ice by Jacob Trouba, and Trouba used that time to knock out Garnett Hathaway. There's no such thing as deterrence.
No such thing.
I don't think teams take any more runs at the Flyers than any other team.
No, Ryan Reeves does nothing to help the Toronto Maple Leafs not get hit. It's just not a real thing. It's a thing.
Who was it? Liljegren last year
may have existed in 1998, but even if it existed then, it has long since left the NHL, and it just doesn't exist.
Marchand hurt. I think it was Liljegren last year.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reeves in the media after was like, well, if he'd gotten another shift with me, we would have taken care of it. And they found like 2 or 3 shifts where they were on the ice together.
They couldn't
and
catch him, though.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah. All right. From JH says, is Michkov on the 4th line because Torts is punishing us?
Yes.
I think me specifically. Yeah.
Did someone ask him about Misha's ice time? Because if someone asked him, he's probably doing it out of spite.
Like last night, he got about what he's been getting, like 14 and a half or 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's the 9:45 game was what it was, but he mostly gets 14, 15 minutes a night. That's what he got. It's, I don't know. We just basically got to get. I want to see what happens after 4 Nations.
Me
because
too.
I think this kid is gassed, and we will see how it goes from there. All right, last one here from Gary B. Says, Bill and Hinks, hope you're having a good night. Let's effing go.
Thanks,
Flyers.
Gary.
We are having a good night, and hopefully the Flyers have a great night as well. That is all the time we have for you. This has been PHLY Flyers Pregame, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365. When you sign up, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We'll be back with postgame. Make sure you're following us right here on Twitter. Set that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. Follow us on Twitter. Is that what I just said? Follow us on YouTube. Set the reminder bell, blah, blah, blah. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. That's where I do all my in-game tweeting. And follow the podcast as well. You know where to find that. All right. I'm Bill Matz. That's Kelly Hinkle. Until postgame, let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.